Join us, the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast, on a journey where we delve into the heart of the matters that truly make a difference. Our mission is to create a platform where we can openly discuss topics that often go unnoticed or unexplored. We aim to shed light on these crucial issues and have meaningful conversations. We invite you to tune into our podcast, where we will explore the depths of these subjects and let our hearts guide the conversation. Together, we can create a space where everyone's voice is heard and where we can collectively work towards a better future. Welcome, everyone, to the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. I am your host, Nia Bailey, and I have the pleasure of interviewing the best illustrator, Jodi.
Hi, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're going to dive right into who you are and what you've done, and then we're going to learn a lot more by the questions that we ask. Listen, everybody. Jodi is a Philadelphia-based artist and illustrator. She graduated from Tyler School of Art in 2017, where she received her Bachelor of Arts in Visual Studies. She has worked with me on our books, Letters to My Younger Self and Love Thy Neighbor. Her work has been exhibited locally and abroad in Philadelphia, St. Michael's, Rome, and tell me how to say this T word. I should probably know how to say
it. Tenerife.
There we go. She is particularly interested in public and interactive art, as well as the natural world. Her work plays with dimension and whimsical weaving forms to create an approachable and appealing gateway for creative exploitation. How did you get into this?
Well, I think it was just really natural. I like don't remember a time where I wasn't a little bit obsessed with art. And my mom is an artist too. So um yeah, it was just always around me. She exposed it to me, and um she used to like make these really cool things with polymer clay, and I would sit in the basement with her and make them, and we would watch like movies on the little VHS TV she had down there. But yeah, I was obsessed, and I would like bring all my little sculptures to school and give them out. Um and then when I was in school, I like obsessively doodled all the time. And so and that's honestly like the basis of my art practice, is obsessively doodling.
Wow. And so would you credit, like, is your entire family creative, or do you think you more so were connected with your mom because she's an artist too?
They all are. They all are creative. They all are. We're all so different. I have like a pretty big family, and my dad is very musical. He really like appreciates the arts too. So, um, that was an influence on me. And then my mom is very visual, and she uses a ton of different mediums. Uh, and my sisters all have their thing. They all have like some sort of creative outlet that they have. Um, but I guess I'm the only one that like really draws a lot.
Yeah, yeah. How does that feel to be an artist, to be a creative? How does that feel?
To be honest, it's weird.
You think so? Why?
I mean, I love it. I love it. But I mean, I don't know if this is everyone's experience, but it's the growing out of the imposter syndrome is so hard. It it just feels like I mean, I'm a hard critic on myself. Um and I'm sort of like, as I've aged, gotten a little bit better with that and started to realize like there are no rules. There's no one way to go about um this pursuit, this path. That's like the beautiful thing about it, but also what's so stressful about it. And I think I used to judge myself a lot for it not looking a certain way. And and then I realized like it's art. why does that have to have a certain form? It's not meant for it to be like that. So that has like freed me a little bit.
I
And
love.
I feel more confident in my art and where I'm at, and just even like aging and knowing that it's gonna my body of work is gonna keep growing naturally. I'll always have this in my life. Different skills will develop. I don't know. I just find it comforting. It makes me excited about the future.
I love that. Did something happen where you found this out that you're going to grow? And did something happen where you had that imposter syndrome and then you're like, you know what? Like, I'm different. I'm an artist. It's okay that I do this way and somebody else does it this way.
Yeah, yeah. Um, well, in general, I guess as I was developing my creative style, and I I love using so many different mediums, and I love sculpture and I love drawing. I started to think like I didn't fit into a certain category, and it would be hard to maybe be a master of one thing or not get jobs or something. And um and then I started to realize that when I zoomed out and I looked at my whole body of work, there definitely is a style. Like you can't escape it. They're just like patterns that you have. And I think the time period that I kind of started to that was like a game changer, and when to kind of get over that imposter syndrome was I quit my graphic design job and um decided to like do freelance for a while. I was just like figuring it out. I needed to like step off the safety zone and just like deal with that decision. And the book that I did for you was actually my first project after that. Yeah, because I met your um publisher at a art market that I was doing, and I talked about it, and I was like, I really want to get into illustration. I want to use my hands to make stuff for a living. I don't really have a certain preference of what that looks like. I just want I just want to be creative on the daily and like have that be so like integral in my life. And he connected me with you, and that was just like such a healing and beautiful part of my life. I always think about that time period.
It was beautiful. Like, I feel like that process was so easy because I sent you pictures of myself and my family and
Mhm.
my grandma, aka Smiley, and for you to recreate our looks was insane. It was to the T. And then in particular, what made me so I guess just loving of your work was that the fact that my grandma was no longer here, but you brought her to life again. You know, it was how are you this like amazing? I can't get the words out. Like how
No, that makes me so happy. That's really what I wanted. I when I work with people, because I think it's so cool that I get to help people discover I don't know, fulfill their own artistic vision. And it can be a little nerve-wracking represent like drawing people's family and trying to like recreate the magic of them. So that makes me so happy um that I was able to do that. But yeah, I tried. I tried to like gather information about your family and how they, I don't know, navigated the world and put that into my design.
and did that. Like and then two times, both books that you and I worked on together. Like it's insane. I
Oh, thank you.
You took it and ran with it. And not only that, it was so I guess easy maybe to draw, and I'm not saying it's easy to draw, but to capture the essence of the purpose of the books you were able to do. Is that something that you had to learn in school or you just
Um, I had to start trusting myself and my decision making. And I think working with you was really helpful for that because you were like constantly hyping me up and giving me a little bit of creative freedom. You really valued my input. And you kind of just let me get the vision, make something, show you, get feedback, and it was just a smooth process. And I was realizing, you know what? I'm good at this. Like, I don't have to be self-conscious. This is what I like. Yeah, I spent a lot of hours doing it. I I can help people. I don't need to hold myself back with any sort of doubts. And it was a good fun process.
And that's what I love about it too, was like following your lead. For example, I wanted somebody to feel comfortable in their skin. And for you to, that's all I said, listeners and viewers, feel comfortable in skin. And then she draws a picture of me when I was little in the mirror with hands on the hip. And it was like, how did you get that? But it was perfect.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Was trying to think of, I really wanted to like exaggerate positions of like, what is something, when do people feel confident in their skin? What does it look like? And when you're like trying on different outfits and you're just like, ooh, that's a look. And thinking about when you're little, because it's hard to be confident in yourself when you're younger. And I just love the idea of like a little girl or a little boy looking at themselves and realizing that they can feel that way about themselves, that they can look in the mirror and appreciate themselves.
yeah, I love
It's
that.
not taboo or vain. It's just normal and healthy.
Yes, it's important to have confidence. And just in that book in particular, to be accepting of all people, no matter the religion, no matter the race, no matter what. Just be kind. We
Yeah.
listen, we don't judge.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I think that that is very needed right now. It's it's too easy to judge, and sometimes with a certain climate, things just get revved up. It's always like there's always an other, and it doesn't have to be. And it's nice to just realize like we're all connected. We all were children once. We all had these experiences.
Absolutely. And I think even as we get older, sometimes we can get wrapped up in that, like with social media and comparisons and, oh my gosh, that person's life looks amazing. And why am I not where they are? And it's just bring it back down. We are
Yeah.
supposed to be, we're all working towards something. It's just okay to be who we are, where we are. That is okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally get that. And I feel that the pressure, I kind of stay off social media because of that. I don't know, that pressure I start feeling instantly, realizing that I'm noticing that I'm comparing myself or I don't know, not on the right path. Um, yeah, I don't know really where I was going with that, but
No, but I agree. Like, but indeed, you are on the right path because you're on your path. But I understand, like, sometimes you can just get wrapped up, and I feel bad for, as adults, we can feel that way. So I feel so bad for teenagers and younger children who are on social media and feel that way. Because as we get older, we're kind of grounded and learning who we are and grounded in who we are. But when you're trying to learn who you are and figure that out,
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
so hard.
And it's hard. And even as adults, I think it's really helpful to remember that little like child in yourself. When you think of yourself like that and you think about if if that little kid was standing in front of me, what would I say to them? I would not be saying the things I'm saying to myself right now. I would be kind. I would have grace for them. Um, and yeah, it's when you're reminded of that, it's just automatically resets all of those negative comparisons that all are like outside forces. That is kind of like then you can choose. Once you have distance from that, you can choose. Like, am I going to be nice to myself? I'm still that girl, I'm just trying my best. It's hard. It's hard to live, and I can try to do it the best I can and be kind. Be kind to myself and others.
I love that. Talk about the other work that you've done, the murals that you've done. Talk about the work
Mm.
outside of the United States. How did that come about and how did it make you feel?
Um, well, I'm going to talk about the mural first.
Yeah.
So that was I just finished that last year, maybe 2 years, maybe a year and a half. But it was always my dream to paint a mural. When I was younger, I thought it was just like the pinnacle of art. I thought it was so cool and so big, and they would just excite me to just go into a place that had them. So I just thought like it's such an approachable form of art. No one has to go seek it out. It's just exciting to be around and to see, and invites people into like a creative space. Um, yeah, in such an approachable way.
Yeah.
So I saw that Fringe Arts, which I knew about as an institution in Philly, like a really cool creative community, they posted a call for artists for a mural in their um, right across from their theater.
Hmm.
And um, I like spent the whole weekend making my design. I kept thinking like I'm probably not gonna get picked because it was also like a public vote. It said that it was gonna be like three designs were picked, and then it was a public vote for the design that would be like the ultimate painting, the ultimate mural.
Hmm.
And I just thought like, I'm probably not gonna even get picked for the last three. And even if I do, I have like no followers. I don't even post on social media. I should, I want to more, but it's hard for me. But I was like, I'm not going to, but I'm gonna have zero chance if I don't try hard on this. So
Hmm.
I did. I got really into it. And a couple months later, I got the notification that I was one of the top three. And I was so excited, obviously. And then I just like I sent it to everyone I knew. And I was like, if you have a second, vote for me. This is going on. And then when I won, I like almost cried. I was so excited. It was like such a dream opportunity for me, but also intimidating, because it was new and huge. I never painted any painting that big because it was a 53-foot long kind of hallway with three separate walls, and it's 7 or 8 feet tall.
Oh my goodness.
Um, yeah, so that I had to keep telling myself like just one puddle at a time. Like you buy the materials, you you do your sketch on the wall, you paint the parts, like trust yourself. You can do it. And then um like it was stressful, but every bit of it I was loving it. It felt so good. I would go after work and paint it, and it was so cool to interact with the public who would come around the corner and see it and get really excited. And as I was finishing it up and all the symbols were there, because there's kind of like three different scenes in each different wall. And it's really bright, and I really loved the color palette. It's like my classic color palette. But seeing people's reactions, and then they would talk to me about what they saw in the symbols and what they would get out of it, and be like, it reminds me of this, and like you should look up this artist. That was so exciting to me. I just love that the public interaction and
Yeah.
just seeing them get excited. That's so up my alley. I definitely want to do more of that. I will do more of it. Gonna
Yes,
put
you
it,
will. That is
yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
then going to Rome and tell us
Mhm.
about that.
Well, I studied abroad in Rome when I was at Temple, which was super cool. I felt so lucky to be able to do that.
Mhm.
Um, and obviously there's just so much art to take in there. And it was so cool being an art major and being able to take art classes and walk around the city and take inspiration from it. Um, and I always knew that I really wanted to travel, but that was a perfect leeway into like gaining my confidence traveling and like taking in art, sketching around cities and stuff, just like uh, owning that space. Super cool. But I had an art class that there was it was a sculpture class, and they made an announcement that there was a call for art for this competition that was um for this family. It's actually this famous family because
Oh,
it's the history around it is that Giovanni Caproni was this aerial engineer. He was like really influential in developing aircrafts.
Mhm.
And there's this movie actually by one of my favorite directors, like Hayao Miyazaki, who's like an anime director. He makes like beautiful anime films, and I grew
Mhm.
up watching his movies, and I was, so inspired by him. But he actually interviewed with the family because he made a anime movie about a character that was really inspired to do um like aircraft engineering,
Mhm.
and his like mind mentor was this family member of theirs. But they like came to school, we got to tour, and then they told us about the competition. And I was already geeking out because of the connection with Hayao Miyazaki. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't wait to make my sculpture. Again, I was like, it's okay if I don't get picked. It's fine, or if I don't win. But I decided to make this like sculpture of this kind of like hanging airplane, but I wanted to make it like look very natural, like a skeleton, to kind of take something that is very sort of like metal, smooth, new technology and make it look like natural because it's kind of like based off of the science behind it is taken from nature.
Mhm.
So I tried to like make it look like a skeleton, this white um like wire sculpture covered with plaster. And it won, and I was super excited.
Amazing.
And so now it's in the private collection at the Caproni House.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah. Which was super cool. And for my nerd self, I was like, oh, I have a creative project that kind of overlaps with the creative project from like one of my like heroes growing up, like one of my creative idols. And it's a stretch, but it's cool to me, and I'm really excited about it.
Yes. And it's so interesting how each time you're like, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to win, whatever. And then you do. Is that sort of like your protections that you don't get so excited just in case you
Hmm.
don't win?
I try to tell myself it's not about that. It's about the process. It's
Sure.
still worth the effort, um, even if it's not shown to the public later. It's just even the practice of doing that and going for those opportunities is worth the effort, worthwhile.
That
But it
is
probably is a little bit of a protection from not being disappointed.
right. But that is true though. You still give your all regardless. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. And then also in St. Michael's, like what was that?
Oh,
Tell us about
that probably looks a little random, but I actually was living with my parents at the time who live in St. Michael's.
uh-huh.
So my mom would be like, "Do you want to come into this show?" And I'd be like, "Sure." So
Yeah,
I would enter shows there as well.
that is amazing. So you are literally a world renowned artist, right?
Sure. Yes. Well, um,
That's what that
it
means. I
still
mean,
feels weird, but yeah,
right? Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that is
Super validating to me. It felt awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
And I also lived in Spain for a year. I did a program teaching English in Spain for a year. Because I don't know if you knew that, but yeah,
Wow,
I
that's amazing.
yeah. And while I was there, I did a lot of art and like sketched a lot, and I entered this competition that was like based on like female experiences, and I had a friend group that I was so close with that I met there, and it was like the year for me of just like feminine camaraderie, like female camaraderie. So I made like a 3 panel kind of comic. Like they were each just like one panel comic showing like different, I don't know, just different subtle, beautiful interactions with female friendships, that was inspired by my experience there. Um, and that was picked for this show, um, in the Canary Islands in Tenerife. I might be saying it wrong. Um, but that was also very cool and validating.
Oh my gosh. That is absolutely amazing. It's like you are so something that you chose as a hobby when you were younger, it's your career. How does that
Mm.
feel? That transition, like you're doing what you love.
I like to, when I'm feeling a little bit sad, I like to think that if my childhood self saw me now and saw the stuff that I'm able to create and that I've made, I would have been like blown away. I would have been excited and proud. So sometimes when I feel like, oh, I could be doing more, there's so much to do. I have so many ideas and I haven't started them yet. I'm like, it's okay. You know, like it's fine. And that makes me reconnect with feeling proud of what I've done because it's it's been my whole life practicing these arts to get to where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love how you come back to your core. I
Yeah.
love that. I
Which
love
is needed like
that.
all the time. It's hard to keep that. So journaling is super helpful, but I try to come back to it often and like ground myself in those things, those facts.
I love that. What's next for you? Like without, because you have goals, but without like feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not at them because you are where you're supposed to be. What is next for you?
Um, well, I really want to um have some pieces, some interactive pieces throughout the city. And I've written some grants or applied to some residencies with some ideas of certain things, and they haven't gone through or been picked, but I want to focus on that a little bit. I think that it will probably happen eventually, but I'd love to have a piece that's like fully outside, not in any sort of establishment, but just like brings people in walking down the street and somehow connects them. Like is maybe like some sort of game that invites people to use it or maybe teaches about the community from some sort of, I don't know, toy. I love like toy designs for
Mhm.
bringing people in. Um, and just has like something fun that invites them and like bright and cool and that it's approachable to any age, young or old, or like even if you're like a tourist, you don't know the community, you're like, what is that? And have to interact with it. So I still am gonna keep applying to those types of opportunities.
Yeah,
And I think eventually something will happen.
I love that. Has your culture, your experiences,
Sorry.
that's perfect. I love
Oh
it.
yeah, this is actually my roommate's cat, and she's very needy, and I love her, but she's super cute. This is
Nugget. She's
this
like,
is
you're not
May.
spending time with me. Hello, everybody.
She's like, your attention. She needs to get in between where my attention is at all times,
I love it.
and I love her for it.
Yes, authentic. I love it.
Very authentic.
Yes.
She knows her wants,
She's
not afraid to express them.
I love that. Has has your religion, your culture, your experiences shaped you as an artist?
Yeah, definitely my experiences for sure. I mean, I pull a lot from my own life for certain themes or things that I'm interested in. I mean, family, even that's hard. Even my family, and my family's very like unfiltered and loud and
Uh-huh.
quirky, and even that is shown in my art because I love quirky, playful art.
Mhm.
I like to put in a little bit of my sense of humor and stuff. It's just it's hard not to have your own life affect affect your art. I
I
think
love-
it's kind of like inseparable from yourself.
Yeah, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Because I know we're going to put snippets of it in the clip, but they're going to see your work and say, I need to hire her as an illustrator. Where can they find you?
Well, my website is Joe Faber, Faber.com. And my email is jodifaberart.com. Super simple, JodiFaber art at gmail.com. At gmail.com. That's my email. If you want to contact me about any project, I love hearing about people's projects. Sometimes I don't have the bandwidth if I'm working on certain things. I also do have a job as well. But I will definitely respond. I'll definitely want to hear about it. If I can't help, I can maybe help connect you with someone. But I think email is a really good way to reach out to me because I check that email very regularly.
I love that. I love that. And the last thing I'll say is, you mentioned you're an artist, you're a creative, you are a great daughter. If you, not that you have to, but who do you say that you are, though? You wear so many hats, but at your core, who are you?
Hmm. I think I think outside of even my career that I'm someone who loves the things that I love really hard. Like I kind of I'm unbound with the way I am passionate about that. And that like I'm thinking when I say that of art and my community and my friends and my family. And I hope it's infectious and I hope it shows my art. And when it comes to my art, I think that I'm someone who's unrestrained with my creativity, and is always willing to evolve and learn more, wants to learn more.
I love that. I love that. She told you how to reach out to her. Do not wait. And you are going to be in love with whatever project you two work on because it's going to be amazing. Remember, she's world renowned. Okay.
Yes, hit me up. I just love talking about creative projects and I want to hear about yours. So definitely hit me up. Send me an email. I'm very nice. I'm cool.
She is. This is not fake. This is really her.
Thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much for being on our podcast. You are phenomenal.
Thank you for having me. It was really nice. It was fun.
Oh, thank you. You guys, remember, reach out to Jodi. Talk about all things creative. She's going to put you in the right direction. She's the perfect person to work with. And don't miss this opportunity. I'm your host, Nia Imani, on the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Humanitarian Heartbeat Podcast. Remember, each conversation brings us closer to a world where compassion thrives. Stay connected, stay informed, and let's keep the heartbeat of humanity alive. Subscribe, share, and be a part of our journey to make a difference, one conversation at a time. Until next time, keep your hearts open, your minds curious, be a blessing to others, and give agape love. God bless.